right before we went on air, ABC News has confirmed that Elizabeth Warren has dropped out of the race. And, you know, it's now, you know...
Two old white guys.
Two old white guys. Back to, you know, back to the time that we had before. You know, it's so funny. You would think we had 50 black presidents. You think we had a whole bunch of... We think we had one black president. And it's always been a lot of white guys. So this is not a shock, y'all. But any predictions who you think she'll endorse?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's discussing that right now. I think that most people would imagine that she's going to head towards Bernie. But there's also a chance that she doesn't endorse anyone for at least a particular period of time. They're going through a really emotional process right now.
Yeah.
Her campaign team worked very, very hard.
Yes.
And I was stunned myself at Super Tuesday's results on several levels. So I think they're deliberating right now. I believe you're going to see them come out one direction or the other pretty soon.
But she goes back to the Senate now, which is good.
Yeah, I mean,
So we
she's still going to be fighting for
Democratic
working
senator in
people
Massachusetts.
for years to come. And I just want to tell an Elizabeth Warren story. I got calls from many of the other candidates when I suspended my campaign. And Elizabeth's call to me was so magnanimous and generous. And she had a tough night herself that night in New Hampshire, and you never would have known it. She's an amazing human being, an amazing leader behind the scenes as well.
Yeah.
She would have made a great president, I think.
She would have made a great president.
You all would have made great presidents. I'm sorry, you know. I mean, there are different.
I don't think
strengths
everybody
and-
would have made a great
Well,
president.
I
could have
do.
lived without Marianne Williams.
Well, yes,
Sorry.
yeah.
All right.
But in looking, well, no, she has a whole other thing that she brings. But to me,
That's certainly
what we
one way to
have,
put it, yes.
Well, yeah, but what we have right now doesn't work at all.
No.
And I'll take any of them
That's-
over this.
But
I
look
won't
at the
take Marianne
fantastic
Williams.
cabinet. Whoever wins the Democratic
What a
election
great
is
group
going to
of
have, you
folks,
know,
yeah.
I mean, look at all of you. A fantastic group of people for the cabinet and for other positions in the administration of probably Joe Biden.
Maybe.
don't know,
We
but
don't know.
it
We'll
looks like
see
that,
who it
but
is.
Yeah, someone called us the Avengers, which is a nice comparison.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah.
Get this country back on track.
Yeah.
Have you thought about endorsing anyone?
Joe called me a couple days ago. I've said I want to have the democratic process play out. I've also said that everyone knows I ran on this idea of universal basic income, and that if a candidate were to come out powerfully for the freedom dividend, that would go a very long way.
Yeah. And just to let you know, I asked each and every one of them that came to this table about that and
Yeah,
about
she
the
did.
things that you were talking about. And they all kind of blew me off in a funny way. Because I think it's scary to them, because it means having to go outside of the norm. And I think that's one of the things that I think got me excited about you, was that, oh, okay, I hadn't thought about this before. When you said, listen, we need to be telling these people they got to pay their taxes, like, hey, that's right. How come nobody's
Well, you
talking
also
about
wanted
that?
to-
Amazon's paying
Well, you
zero.
also
Yeah.
wanted to give money out, too. There was
Yes.
that.
That's not the thing that got me.
Oh.
The thing that got me was finally somebody said, you do know that Amazon and these other groups are not paying any taxes. And they should be. And we should be getting some money here.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, snap. Okay. And it was a fresh idea that seemed to be for the people. And I like that. Anything that suggests something great for the people, I'm all in.
Well, I assume that you will have a platform at the convention to give
Yeah.
a speech. I'm just
Yeah.
making that assumption you are a major presidential candidate, and maybe you can use that opportunity to implore the rest of the party, if it's that important to you, to do the freedom dividend and the taxing on the
Besides
tech
yourself, who do
Yeah.
you think would be a great VP?
Well, like you said, I mean, there are a lot of great choices. I do think that if Joe's the front runner, which you'd have to say he is right now, that he needs to shore up his support among young people in particular, and I think that his running mate might be an opportunity to do that.
And Latinos, too?
And Latinos.
Yeah.
And we kind of know, for better or for worse, Joe's support and Bernie's support are almost like mirror images of each other. So you need someone who can attract many of the same Latino voters and young people that Bernie's attracting.
So AOC would be actually a good choice, except that she's a Bernie person.
She's also not old enough.
Well, she's not as a VP?
Nope.
Yeah, well, the
have to be
Constitution has a
34.
minimum age
Oh, I
for
see.
president, and it's conceivable that the vice president is going to be president.
And what's this? I heard you wanted to run for mayor of New York.
I love this idea.
I mean, I'm looking to solve problems and add as much value as I can. Certainly, I'm more attracted to executive roles than I am legislative roles. But I'm going to make an announcement today on the show that's not about the mayoral race. It's about trying to further the ideas of the campaign in the days ahead.
You want to do that now?
Yeah, sure, I can do that right now. Fantastic.
Can we get a drum roll?
So I am thrilled to announce that today we are launching a new nonprofit called Humanity Forward that will champion the main ideas of my campaign: a universal basic income for all Americans, an economy that works for us, and the fact that our data should be ours, even if we're loaning it to the tech companies. So we already have pledges of $3 million that we're going to give away to everyday Americans around the country in the days ahead. But
That's awesome.
yeah, that's really good, right? But the goal is to build a movement. And so this is going to be a grassroots campaign or organization in the months ahead. And one person who supports Humanity Forward in the month of March will get $1,000 a month for a full year, just to show that we can make this economy work for us, the people of this country. So if you want to find out more, you can go to the Views website and find out more.
Oh.
All right.